Hi, I'm Maria from Chile. Before I tell you my amazing story, please click like and subscribe. When I was 3 years old, I realized that the only smart person in my family was Mom. She was the only one who understood me. My dad and my older sister Elena seemed to be super dumb. One time, Mom had left an apple pie on the counter, and the smell was driving me crazy. I couldn't reach it, so I ran over to Dad and said, "Dad, bye."
Okay. Bye.
No, bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Me? Bye.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Idiot. Bye. Bye. See me waving my hand? Go away. Bye.
I burst into tears and threw his slipper at him. Luckily for me, Mom came in just then. "You want pie, honey? Come with me." Mom realized that I had some trouble with my speech because I mixed up sounds and words. But Dad was just really mean about it. He said that girls should be perfect, and if not, they should be boys. One day, Mom took me to this nice doctor she worked for as a maid. He offered to give me free speech sessions for some months, and after that, I couldn't stop talking in perfect sentences, which also annoyed my dad.
Girls are meant to be seen and not heard, so shut up.
Soon after I turned 5, Mom announced at dinner that she'd enrolled me in a school.
Are you crazy? I'm not wasting money on her school.
You don't even have a job. I've been saving money for Maria, and she is going. She couldn't even speak properly till forever. Wake up, Mom. She's stupid. But Mom completely ignored them, and I was off to school the next day. Of course, Dad and Elena became even bigger jerks. Once I told Dad he'd spelled his name wrong on a school form, and he yelled at me.
Oh, you think you're smarter than your dad now? And it's not a mistake. I was planning to change my name tomorrow.
Wow, that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. But to be honest, I didn't think I was smart. I didn't understand most of the stuff we were studying in school. Once in the 5th grade, the teacher asked me why I hadn't done my worksheet. "I'm sorry, miss. My mom made me a sandwich last night, and I needed a tissue, but we didn't have any, so I rolled the worksheet around it, and it was the best sandwich I ever had. Want me to bring you some?" The teacher looked at me like I was crazy. Everyone started laughing, and someone yelled,
"Gosh, she's dumb." "Yeah, thank God she's pretty."
Well, yes, thank God for that. Boys were always trying to flirt with me as I grew older, which didn't sit too well with some girls. Once in the 7th grade, I was blocked in the corridor by Elena and her mean best friend, Amanda. "Listen, Maria, I'm sick of hearing my crush talking about how pretty you are, so I need you to go and tell him how dumb you are, okay?" "Yeah, just open your mouth and something stupid will come out for sure." That's what happens when you have an empty trash can instead of a brain. As the two laughed, I tried to push Amanda aside, but I swear I didn't remember I had a pencil in my hand, and she let out a very loud scream. The principal called my parents and let me off with a warning, but Dad lost it.
That's all she gets? I knew this school was for losers. This girl is insane and useless, and I'm putting her in a zoo.
The only person who's useless in our house is the one who sits and eats all day and hasn't earned a penny in 10 years.
Wait, are you talking about me? You suck. Good luck with your dumb daughter.
With that, Dad left us for good, and our lives became better. I wish he'd taken Elena too. I had a secret I really wanted to hide from her. You see, since I wasn't good at anything, I randomly signed up for the school's music club. But it turned out I was really good at singing. Now I was spending even less time studying and was learning songs instead. If Mom found that out, she would kill me. In the 8th grade, I was chosen to sing 3 songs on our cultural day, and I was so excited, I started singing.
Who run the world, girl?
I clapped my hands on my mouth. Why did I sound like a freaking man? I cleared my throat and started again.
Who run the world, girl?
And there it was, this deep, manly voice I'd never heard before. What was wrong with me? As everyone started laughing, I ran off the stage and went home in tears. I skipped school the next day, pretending to be sick. Later that evening, Elena came to my room with a food tray. Aw, poor Maria. Here, I got you some hot soup for your throat. Oh, thank you. Maybe it'll help you sound less like a man. You heard me? I wish. I wasn't there, but it's all anyone in the school can talk about. So what are you now, Maria or Mario? Shut up, Elena. Hey, watch it. Because if I tell Mom you've been spending all your time singing with other losers, she's gonna take you out of school. Now, where's that sweater of yours I really love? And with that, she picked it up and walked out. She was such a witch. The next morning when the bell rang, I opened the door to find my music teacher outside. I immediately pulled her into the coat closet to hide her from Mom. Miss, you have to go. My mom can't find out I've been singing. But my teacher insisted that my voice was special, and I had to come back to school to join a competition. She wouldn't leave till I said yes. When I went back to school, I was the butt of all the mean girl jokes. But suddenly, none of the boys wanted much to do with me either.
Hey Mario, can you return that love poem I wrote for you? I want to give it to a real girl. I'm canceling our date, but you can come watch the game with me and the guys at boys' night.
As I sat down in the corner to eat alone, Elena and Amanda walked over to me. Wow, I never thought I'd see the day when you'd be sitting alone. Aw, we'll have lunch with you. And with that, Elena dumped a whole plate of spaghetti on my head. OMG, what is wrong with you two? Why do you hate me so much? Oh, you need a reason? I'll give you 100. Number 1, you are dumb, but pretty. And the other 99 are the same. You're even dumber than I am because all you want is the attention of some stupid boys. Well, they're all yours. Go marry them. Have their idiot babies. Whatever you do, just leave me alone. I stormed out of there angrily. I was walking down the hallway when I heard my favorite song from the music room. It was my teacher on the piano, and I started to sing along. And this time, it was just my usual voice. After that, I started training with my teacher for the competition, and she taught me how to tune both my voices to perfection. She was convinced I would win with my unique talent. But one day, when I was alone at home, I was practicing in my room when suddenly, Mom barged in.
Where's the boy?
What boy? Mom,
the boy who was just singing that cheesy song to you, and you were singing it right back. Stop acting, Maria. I heard you both.
I had no choice but to tell Mom about my singing and the dual voices. Just then, Elena came in and Mom was super mad at us both.
I don't break my back cleaning people's toilets, so you can go and be a dumb singer, Maria. I'm going to take you out of school if you keep getting such bad grades. And you, Elena, you knew all along and you hid this from me? You're both grounded for a week.
No matter how much we protested, Mom wouldn't hear another word. But there was no way I was missing that competition. A few days later, I sneaked out and my teacher drove me to the venue. To my delight, I won first prize and I was given a $1,000 check. And that was a lot of money in my country. Mom couldn't be mad at me now. But when I got home, I was in for a shock. There were 5 men in the lounge, twice as big as Mom.
This house isn't yours anymore. Your husband mortgaged this property long ago and we're taking over now. Get out.
Before we knew it, all our things were out on the street, and so were we. We were homeless, all thanks to the worst dad on the planet. We camped out in a nearby park for the night. As we lay down to sleep on some benches, I went to Mom and took out the check from my pocket. Mom, I went to the competition and won first prize. You can take this to the bank tomorrow, and we can pay for a place to stay till we figure out something. Mom looked shocked, and then she hugged me tight. Oh, Maria, this will really help me right now, so thank you. Come, sing for me. I want to hear you. Just then, I heard some sweet flute music from the distance, and I started singing that song in my style.
Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we'll still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, eh.
When I opened my eyes, Mom looked stunned. Suddenly, we spotted an old man running towards us, holding a flute in his hand.
Wow, you're such an amazing talent. I've never seen someone singing like that. Who are you? And why are you here?
I told him we'd suddenly become homeless, and he immediately offered us a place in his house. When we got there, our jaws dropped open. It looked like a millionaire's mansion. I went to sleep on the biggest, softest bed I could ever imagine. In the morning, we discovered that the old man was a millionaire who came from a family of musicians. And what he said next left me shook.
I own my own music production company, Maria, and I want to give you a record deal. You're going to take the world by storm, I'm telling you.
Of course, I had to take up the offer. As Mom and I jumped for joy, Elena suddenly hugged me so hard I could barely breathe. Oh, my beautiful, talented sister, I knew you were special from the day you were born. I had to make a huge effort not to punch her face. I instantly shot to fame with my debut single, and suddenly, I was the talk of the city. In a few months, I was able to afford our own place and move out of the kind man's mansion. I hired house help for Mom and decided to enroll Elena and myself in a better school. But Elena was super jealous and she couldn't hide it anymore. I don't need your charity, you dumb witch. I hate you. Always have, always will. I have a boyfriend now, and I'm moving out to live with him. And just like that, she left. And well, I can't say I miss her. I have my huge fans around the world to make it up to me. In the first grade, and after I was done doing the task Miss Janice gave us, I started reading a book. The teacher looked at me through her thick glasses. "What are you reading? Show me." I slowly pulled out the book from my lap. "You're reading Shakespeare's sonnets?" I'm sorry, miss." "When did you learn to read this?" "When I was 4. Shakespeare is my favorite poet, and Agatha Christie is my favorite author." Miss Janet looked really surprised. She and I had so much in common, and we got closer over time. One day she said, "Why don't I walk you home today, and I can have a little chat with your parents?" I led Miss Janice to my house, and to my horror, we walked straight into one of Mom and Dad's screaming matches. "How many times do I have to tell you the same thing? It's a ketchup stain. Stop lying to me. I know that was lipstick." "Mom, Dad, we have a visitor." The two stopped short and turned to look at us. "Hi, I just wanted to talk to you about Sarah. We want to put her in the Gifted Kids program and..." "Yeah, whatever. Anything you want me to sign before I leave?" And with that, he was out the door. I hated their fighting, but I was too happy to care for a change. He'd be back soon enough. But this time, he just didn't come back. Hi, my name is Sarah, and this is my story about how I made money being the babysitter of my own mother. Dad just disappeared, and he had even blocked our numbers. And Mom just became a depressed couch potato. I had to keep up with all my schoolwork and do all the house chores. At 14, I was already busy preparing for my SATs and applying to colleges. One day, when I was studying at home, I got a phone call that shook my world. Mom had been in a terrible car accident. I called Miss Janice and we rushed over to the hospital. The doctors told us that Mom had suffered a severe head injury and was still unconscious. A week later, Mom finally opened her eyes. The doctor came to check on her, saying everything seemed normal. When we asked her what her name was, she pouted. "It's Candace, duh." "And what day comes after Tuesday, Candace?" Mom flung a plastic cup at his forehead. "I don't know, poop face. I want my mommy." The doctor said he needed to do a brain scan. Mom kicked up such a fuss as the nurses took her away. The doctor made the most shocking discovery ever. Mom now had the brain of a 6-year-old. He said it was possible she might go back to normal, but it could also be a permanent condition. My mom had turned into an actual baby? My life just turned into a nightmare after that. I had to leave Mom at daycare before going to school. I could see all my college dreams slipping away as I dropped out of my SAT classes. I had enough on my plate right now with Mom and the housework, and boy, was she the brattiest 6-year-old ever. One day, when I just finished making dinner, I went to her room and found her busy pulling out everything from the cupboards and throwing it on the floor. "Oh my God, Mom, Candace, stop it. Who's gonna clean that up?" "Not me." And she ran out, cackling like a little witch. When I went downstairs, she was already at the dinner table. "Get your feet off the table, please." A minute later, I got hit by something on my face. Yuck. I hate broccoli. "I want Doritos." "Well, too bad. You have to eat your greens and..." can't hear you." And she stuck her finger in her ears and started shouting gibberish. "Fine, put on your shoes and we'll go to the grocery store." As I paid at the store, I saw her looking at the Barbie dolls display. I told her we had to go, but she just looked stubbornly at me. "I want one." "No, let's go." What happened next is something I'll never forget. Her eyes filled with rage as she unleashed a scream that was shrill enough to wake up the dead. She knocked over the entire rack of Barbies and then she threw herself on the floor and started kicking and crying. Horrified, I apologized to the staff and quickly bought a doll. I couldn't get out of there faster. When we finally got home, she took one look at the Barbie and tossed it aside. "Nah, it's really ugly." And she skipped off to her room happily. Just then, the doorbell rang. I opened the door to see it was Miss Janice. The minute I saw her, I hugged her and started crying. "I can't do this. I can't be my mom's mom." I told her I wanted to sell Mom. I would just post it online, "Mom for sale." Miss Janice just laughed and hugged me tight. When I felt better, she said she'd found me a part-time job at the local library. I was so grateful to her. But soon enough, I discovered the worst thing about being an adult: paying bills every month. How was I going to pay for everything being a library assistant? That evening, I stopped at an ATM and withdrew the last $100 I had. I almost threw away the receipt without looking, when suddenly, I froze. I stared at my account balance. $13 billion. I looked around, half expecting a camera crew to pop up behind me and tell me this was a big fat joke. I ran back home and logged onto my computer to check again. Someone had anonymously sent me $13 billion. When Miss Janice came to visit me, I told her about the money. I asked her if I should tell the bank because it was clearly a mistake, right? No one sends someone $13 billion by mistake, love. Seems like you've got a mystery guardian angel. It's yours to enjoy. And enjoy it I did. The first thing I did was hire a chef, a maid, and a nanny for Mom. I'd now come home from school to a clean mom, folded laundry, a clean house, and fancy food on the table. I started my SAT classes and college applications again. I could go to any university now and take Mom and the nanny with me. One day, I walked into the lounge to find Mom watching Frozen for the millionth time. When she saw me, she ran over to me excitedly. "I want to be Princess Elsa on my birthday. Look, I'll show you these birthday parties on YouTube." Looking at my mom's eager face, I just couldn't refuse. I hugged her and said she could have anything she wanted. I threw her a grand birthday party and invited the whole neighborhood. Mom made a special entrance in an actual carriage. She almost tripped on her flowing blue dress as she stepped out. I could see all our neighbors staring and snickering. Sometime later, I went to the bouncy castle to look for Mom and saw her in a corner crying, while the other kids shouted, "What are you doing here, you weirdo? You're a grown-up. You look so stupid and ugly." I just wanted to be Princess Elsa. I climbed onto the bouncy castle and snatched the tiara from the mean girl. No one talks to my mom like that. "Come, Mom. We are going to cut the cake now." As Mom excitedly blew the candles, I made a silent wish too. Please, let Mom be normal again. When everyone had left, Miss Janice turned to me, smiling. "You did a good thing for your mom. She looked really happy. You should sometimes be a kid and have fun too." She was right. When the weekend came around and my classmates invited me to a party, I didn't turn them down. Just as I was ready to head out, I found out that my babysitter had bailed on me. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to take Mom with me. My mom threw a tantrum the moment I arrived and wanted to go home. Everyone was staring and laughing at us. I grabbed my mom by the shoulders and yelled at her to shut up. She looked at me with tears in her eyes, and then she burst out crying. I felt sorry immediately and hugged her, and we went home. I had enough money to move out and settle down in another town where I could attend college. Miss Janice was sad that I was leaving. I bought a mansion that was especially made for toddlers and included all kinds of games. On my first day at college, Mom cried so hard and didn't want me to leave her with the nannies and the servants. But I put my hands around her face and kissed her forehead. "You will be just fine, Mom." But I was wrong. 2 hours later, I got a phone call and knew that Mom had hit her head again. She was in a coma for 2 days. The doctor said that part of my mom's brain still thought she was an adult, That's why she was taking these risks, because she thought she was big enough. I just realized that leaving for college was still a bit too early. I spent my time at home and started writing. Writing was my only escape. I created my own blog, and it seems like people liked my stories. I was inspired by Agatha Christie's novels and wrote many detective stories. People were calling me the modern version of Agatha Christie. They believed my stories were too addictive, and I couldn't be happier. Until one day, I entered my mom's room and found her reading something, which didn't look like the children's storybooks I'd given her to read. "What are you reading? Show me." She slowly pulled out the book from her lap. "You're reading Shakespeare's sonnets?" I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't. When did you learn to read this?" "I started before we moved out. Shakespeare is my favorite poet, and Agatha Christie is my favorite author." Was my mom a genius kid now? I knew how it felt to be a genius with neglected parents, and I just wanted to support Mom and help her improve her talent. But I didn't only want to help Mom. I thought all the kids around the world should have a chance too. I volunteered to build huge libraries around the world for gifted and all kinds of kids. I understood that education and science are more important than money. I had billions, but they couldn't bring me happiness. I have everything I love in books. And my mom? She was and still is my #1 fan. Also, I found out that my mystery benefactor was a rich man who'd caused Mom's accident. He felt so bad that he'd looked us up and sent me the billions. I'm really thankful for that man. Not for hitting my mom, of course, but for giving me this great opportunity to make a little change in this world.